Hello all, my name is Blair, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Slammed trilogy. These three books are Slammed, Point of Retreat, and This Girl, all by Colleen Hoover. I've also read Confess by her, and I'm very excited to read other books by her because this series was incredible. Personally, the way I rank them is how they were made, so I'd go Slammed, Point of Retreat, then This Girl. Okay, so the other day I was at B&N, Barnes & Noble, and I bought these three books. So I bought Slammed, Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, and then P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. And these were sitting on my shelves, and I actually read this, and then I was like, ooh, what should I read? I read this, and then I was like, what book should I read next? I mean, I have like 4 books on my shelf that I haven't read, and so I was like, between these, I just finished Snow Like Ashes, so I don't really want to go fantasy right now, so I picked up a contemporary and started Slammed. I started Slammed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then I had to go do life, which consisted of walking my friend's dog, walking my dogs, going to Cinderella practice. If you didn't know, I'm in a musical. And the entire time I was thinking about Slammed. I could not get it out of my mind. I just kept thinking about Will and Lake, the main characters. So once I got home that night around 10 o'clock, I finished it at 12, and I was like, I need to get the next book. Like, it needs to happen right now. So the next day I went to the closest Barnes & Noble, which is 30 minutes away because I live in a small town and we don't really have any bookstores, and so I was like, I need to get it. So I said, hey Emma, you want to go to Barnes & Noble tomorrow with me? So we went and I bought Point of Retreat and This Girl. But I was like, I don't want to go home right now. Let's just sit in Barnes & Noble and I'll read. And she had her computer, so we had it all planned out. And I read about half of it. And then I got home and read the rest of it, and it was incredible. Then, like I said, that same day I finished This Girl. In conclusion, I read 3 books in 2 days, and I was very proud of myself. The Slammed series is much different from Confess. I think this was her first series, and Confess is her most recent story. And this one's different because it's more like you're in their head, you know exactly what the main characters are thinking. And with Confess, we're going back between points of view and it's a little more mysterious. So if you like a little more mystery and you've already read these, go read Confess. Our main characters are Will and Lake, and I fell in love with them the minute I started reading, and I fell in love with love, and it's just such a good romance series. I gave Slammed 5 stars, actually probably 5 million bajillion stars, because it was absolutely incredible. This book is about a girl named Lake, and it's first person, so we're in Lake's brain, and she's telling us about how 6 months or 7 months ago her father died and they can't stay in Texas where they lived, so they're moving to Michigan. And they get there and she's all depressed because her father died and it's not good. She left all her friends, and her neighbor comes over, and her little brother and the neighbor's little brother are like best friends, and then she meets Will. And Will is her neighbor, he's 21, she's 18, and they go on a date and it's all great, and then something huge happens and they can't be together. So it's pretty incredible, and I just fell head over heels for this book, and I mean I read it in like 3 hours, so it was absolutely incredible. The next book, Point of Retreat, I gave this one also 5 stars. This book is obviously a continuation of the story, but from Will's point of view, and I can't tell you anything about it to not spoil you. But it's an amazing book, and so go read it. First read Slammed, then read Point of Retreat. Hi, my name's Blair, and I'm in love with a fictional character. Oh, who am I in love with? Oh, his name's Will Cooper, and he's, you know, in the books, but he's real in my mind. So, we're gonna get married. Where's Lake gonna go? Then the third installment, the final book in the Slam trilogy. I gave this book 4 stars. It's a little shorter. Basically, it's the first book from Will's point of view with little snippets of what's happening after the second book, so it's pretty great. It did take me a little longer to go through, even though it's so short, because I've already read those parts, so I was taking a little bit longer so that I can soak up all the amazingness. And of course I loved seeing Will's point of view because I am in love with him. Again, I can't tell you much without spoiling you, but I'm so happy I read it and it was really, really good. So that's all I can tell you without spoiling you. If you think you're interested in this series, go to your local B&N or Amazon or Book Depository and pick up this series because it is really, really good if you like romance, if you like contemporaries, if you like young adult books, if you like Colleen Hoover, if you like anything ever, then you will love this book series. If you have read this series or you're going to, go on Instagram or Twitter and use the hashtag Blair's Books and I'll take a peek. Or you can use my links below and tag me. But now we're going to move on to spoilery. So you don't want to be spoiled. If you have read these books, then you can keep watching. If you have not, then you shall leave. Spoilery. I actually wrote blog posts for all 3 of these books, so if you haven't gone and looked at my new blog, the link's in the description, and you can read my written reviews from Goodreads. Right away, I fell in love with Will. He was my knight in shining armor. I loved him. And we're like, ooh, first date, amazing. And then he's a teacher. I hadn't been spoiled about that, so I was like, oh my freaking goodness. I was like, he's a teacher. Yeah, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What are we gonna do? What's Lake gonna do? My favorite parts of this book consist of their first date. I loved that. I thought it was so adorable. He showed a part of himself and Lake was totally into it and it was just perfect. Another favorite part of mine was when he let her sleep in his bed after she found out her mother had cancer, and I liked how he knew that she needed him at that moment in time. He knew. And the whole time we're on pins and needles during this book. I literally just wanted them to be together. So we're like, ooh, when are they gonna get together? Ooh, you teased us by saying they were together, but then no, he needs to think about Calder. Ah! Third favorite part was when he beat up that kid who was hurting Lake, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so adorable. And when I was reading this one, I was like, oh, he did it. He knew that she was being hurt and he came and saved her. Soon you will learn that that's not the truth, but you'll have to read. Fourth favorite part was the balloons with Eddie. I love that part. It really showed their friendship. And of course, the 5th one is I loved the end. The end was just incredible. I loved how they came together in a poem, and it got me revved up for the 2nd one, and it was just so incredible. I loved this book. I loved it so, 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 so much. So, spoilers for Point of Retreat. The beginning was just utter bliss. They finally get to be together, they're being all cutesy, and I just loved it, and then everything crashes and burns. I was on my way home from Barnes & Noble with Emma, and I had already read half, and I found out that Vaughn, Lake was angry, and I was just sitting here like, Will, you are such a stupid moron. This is him. Oh, I have college with my friend from the past. Oh, right, my ex-girlfriend. I'll just wait till next week to tell Lake about it because she's not gonna, think that I'm mischievous or anything. She's not gonna think that I just kept that from her. And then she shows up at your house and you hug her. You're such a moron. Like, he's so stupid. At that moment in time, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. You finally get your girl, and then you do this. You do this. All I wanted was for them to get to their perfect weekend. They've been waiting a year with the whole Point of Retreat, and then Vaughn just shows up, and I'm like, I should have seen it coming. I mean, they're not gonna be happy for a whole 300 pages. Colleen Hoover's not just gonna have 300 pages of utter bliss, will she? No, she won't. The agony of them not being together, I liked it better in the first one because, we had hope. But in this one, it was just Will being a complete idiot, which made me not like him as much. And I'd rather love him than hate him. Then, of course, the 3rd book, This Girl. This book, we see the first book from Will's point of view. in between the chapters that Will's telling us the stories from the first book, we get to see their honeymoon. So basically them being all cutesy, we're finally married, happiness, and I actually got spoiled that they got married because I was like, oh, let me just go check out the synopsis, and I hadn't finished Point of Retreat. Bad decision, because I got completely spoiled. I was like, wait, they get married? And I was happy about it. I was just like, let me figure it out by myself. It took me longer to read this book, even though it's shorter. This book is about 100 pages shorter than those two. And it took me longer because I just wanted to soak up the last book, I guess. Honeymoon scenes. They just got me. They got me so much, and I thought they were so adorable. When we get to the part where Lake tells Will to tell her about their first time not retreating, I was like, finally! We've been waiting 3 GD books to finally see them get to that. They were counting down till they got to be together, and they finally get to consummate the marriage. My favorite scenes of this book probably consist of the pool scene, because I thought they were all cutesy. They were drinking coffee, and then the next moment they were in the pool, and I just like seeing Will all flirty-like. My next favorite scene was when Will told us about the Point of Retreat, when Julia told them that they had to wait a year, and I just like that because they were so excited, they finally got to be together, and it was like, ah! One of my favorite parts about this whole series is that although they're fine with doing the diddly-hoo before marriage, I liked how it worked out that they didn't do the diddly-hoo till after marriage. And it made me believe that if you're truly with the person you're supposed to be with, then it's gonna be great, you know? And the cutest thing was when, before they go home, they're like, maybe we should go back home and, you know, eat dinner with the family for their welcome home. I mean, I'm pretty hungry from the workout. I was like, ooh. The part that really got me, that's like I started crying, was when they named the baby Julia. I was like, it's the last thing we see before the end poem, and I was just like, hey Julia. It's the last thing we see, and I'm like, that's so cute, like their little baby, and they named it after their dead mother. I loved how they were still together after 3 years. 3 years later after their marriage, they have a baby, and we just get to see it all work out, and I love that Colleen Hoover just tied it up so perfectly. I loved this series. I can't wait to read Colleen's other series. I really want to read Maybe Someday. That's the one I'm really looking forward to, because Paul and Banana's book said that that was the least sad one. And this one, I mean, Lake almost dies. So, that was also pretty intense during Point of Retreat when she almost dies. I was like, whoa. If you've gotten to the end of this video, then you've probably read all 3 of these books, which means you can post on Instagram and Twitter saying you've read them and use the hashtag Blair's Books. Also, you can use the links in the description for my Instagram and Twitter. Please go read these books. Please. I'll just wait here. You go read them. And then, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you liked this series book review. I did this with just one day and year and night, and if you want to go check that out, it's on my channel, and I'll put a link right here. You see a bubble? It's right here. You should click on it. That's my other series review. If you want more of these series books review thing, then comment some series for me to read. Is that how you say that? And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.